Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. Welcome to Snippet 54. Now Snippet 53, I promised you that we'd do a follow-on from that. So we'll do I've even used the same low tack tape. So we'll do exactly as we did before and add the prize ribbon just to the top of our card. So let's just add that to the top of our card, just like we did before, but maybe slightly less blue at the moment. So what we will do then is we'll take our little tree. So we'll take the tree again, which is from the Woodland set, stamp set 661. We'll take that once again, and I've still got my cut and dry foam, and we'll take a little bit of that ink, just like we did before. I'll take my copier paper, exactly like I did before, and we'll just add a little bit of the colour just here. And then we'll ink our tree exactly like we did before. So let's just ink the tree with our black Nocturne ink. Please don't ink over your project like I'm doing. I'm just doing that so you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do then is just add, let's have a tall tree. So we'll have that there, like so. So we'll have that nice tall tree. Allow that just to soak and absorb onto the surface of that card. And just remember, which I didn't mention in the previous snippet, is that when you're stamping onto that oxide ink, you may need to blot because the surface is no longer porous. So we've got that. But what I'm going to do now is, before I'm not adding another tree, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a circle. So I think we'll have, let's have this little circle here. So we'll just draw around this circle like so. And then what I'll do is I'll use my cut and dry foam that I've used and picked up ink from the prize ribbon. And I'll take the prize ribbon ink, take a little bit more of that ink, take off the excess of the ink, and then I'm just going to dab a little bit of that just around the circle, like so. There we go. So I don't know how small that is. I'd better tell you how small that is, hadn't I? So that circle is around about 1.5 inches. The circle is. So if I just grab, she says confidently, have I got a piece of scrap paper? I've got a piece of scrap paper here. I'm just going to draw that circle onto a piece of the copier paper, and then we'll just grab our scissors and we'll just cut out that circle. Now I could have had that circle cut out prior to doing the video, but sometimes it's just important that you see every step. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, it doesn't take me long just to cut that out. Now you can use your dies if that makes it easier for you, no problem at all, but I'm trying to make it so it's all inclusive for everybody. I'm then going to place that circle over the top, and I'm then going to take my tree again. Now the reason I've used the copier paper is, if I used the card circle piece, that'd have a ridge, and I don't want the ridge on the card. So let's make sure, and then add a little bit of the tree into that circle. There we go. So we've got a little bit of that tree in that circle. And then I'm just going to take a black pen and let's add a little bit of a top to a bauble. Go. And it looks lovely, just adding the bauble like that. So if I'd have used the card piece, I'd have had a ridge. I would have had a ridge and the stamping wouldn't work perfectly. So we don't want that. So let's work out which little mouse we want. So let's take our little mouse. Make sure you're not picking up any of that ink, which is so easy to do. I'm then going to ink my little mouse with the Nocturne ink. So let's take that. I've done it again. I've picked up the wrong mouse. Oh, I'm hopeless. Let's try the other mouse. Might get it, what is it, second time, third time? So let's try this mouse. I'm going to take that mouse and I'm just going to have him peering in to the circle. Now, if I'd used the card, 300 GSM card, that wouldn't have been right to the edge, which is what we want. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then you can decide. Where's my little tree again? Where's my little tree? There it is. You can decide then if you want another tree, which I think I do. So we'll take the tree again, ink up more than you need, because then you don't leave any gaps. You don't miss areas. So let's take a little bit of that copy of paper, just put that down here so we don't get any on the card. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of that tree. Let's have it about there. There we go. And I've got that low tack tape at the bottom, so I'm not going to stamp on the bottom of the card, so that's fine. Very easy stamp to stamp with, not a problem. We'll just let that ink dry a little bit before we add any more of the ink. Couldn't spit it out then. So I'm then going to take my water again. I'm going to take my splatter brush, just like I did before. And then we'll just add some little splatters of that water, just so that it reacts. Let's have a little bit more water, because you then sort of get bleached out areas and the white that I add as well. There we go. So we'll then pick up our white again, which when you're working at home, you wouldn't keep getting rid of this white. You could have it in a little palette and you could keep reactivating it. I'm just doing it this way because it keeps the area clean for me, just while I'm recording videos. So I'll just take a little bit of moisture onto that, dab off the excess, and then come in and add your white. And I just keep adding that white until I'm happy. Just tap off the excess if you don't want any of the big splatters. Just to give you that snowy sort of feel. And again, I'm using this Dr. Martens bleed proof white because it will stay white. It won't take on the colour of that oxide. So we won't remove that yet. So we'll just remove our low tack tape, which I've used a couple of times now. We'll just remove that. As you can see, we've got that paint on that low tack tape. Let's just leave that there for now. And then I'm just going to add a little bit. Let me just move this. Typical, I can't pick it up now. There we go. So I've not taken the bottom bit off yet. Let me just wipe my area. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this blue. Let's add the copy of paper. And let's just add a little bit of the blue just at the bottom of the tree, so that it is grounded. What we'll do actually is we'll also add a little bit all the way along. So let's pick up a little bit more of that prize ribbon. And you can see I've got quite a bit on the low tack tape. So you sort of take the excess off on the low tack tape. cannot pick up. There we go. And make sure you're careful how you peel away your low tack tape, because you don't want to tear your card. There we go. Isn't that lovely? So we're then just going to add a few touches of white just to our little mouse. Let's add some touches of white to the tree as well. You can use your Posca pen if you wish. I'm then going to take the winter wishes that we had before, which is on our stag set. I'm going to use the winter wishes just like we did before. Take our black Nocturne ink again. Doesn't need too much ink. And then I'm just going to add the winter wishes here. Again, you don't need to press too hard. You just need that ink, just to give it enough time just to absorb onto the card. You don't need to sort of squish it. And you really should use your copier paper just to blot the trees, just to make sure that you've not got any ink that's going to run. I need a clean wipe, because all I've done is wipe white paint all over my hands. Okay, and then just to finish off, let's grab our little Inktense pencil. So I've got my grey Inktense pencil. Just add a little bit of grey under here. Grab a little bit of water. I've just chucked the other snippet on the floor. I will bring both of them in so you can see how we've changed that up. There's some blue ink on my brush, so we need to make sure that we get rid of that. There we go. And then just take a little bit of the water off so that you're not using too much water. And then just add, where's the Inktense? Let's just add a little bit more there. Just adding a little bit of shading just around that tree. And I'm not using a soaking wet brush. I'm just being very careful. You can't take it away, but you can add. That's why I'm just doing a little bit. There we go. Just so it gives it a little bit of dimension. It really doesn't take much to move that. There we go. Then where's my, you can dab a little bit up as well. There we go. So now we've got our lovely little image and the bauble. We just need a little mark on the bauble, and we can perhaps do a little bit of the swirl in white as well, but just so that you can see that. Just works rather nicely. And when your pen, let's have a look, when your gel pen, when the ink is dry, your gel pen works far better. So just make sure that you can use that gel pen. So this is Snippet 54. So let's bring in Snippet 53, just so you can see how those have changed. And that is 2 nice simple snippets for you, and maybe 2 simple Christmas cards. So love to all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.